So good morning. We have some really auspicious readings today. I'm getting goosebumps. We have the cleansing and purification of the temple in Jerusalem. And then we have the cleansing and purification of the temple by Jesus. So the first one is in the time of the Maccabees, after the temple and Jerusalem had been lost to the Seleucid Empire, and had been desecrated. And then, so it's a great festival. People are celebrating for how many days? 8 days. How many days in Hanukkah? 8 days. The 8 days of Hanukkah are a commemoration of the 8 days of the cleansing of the temple. The Jewish people, I don't know if I said this before, because I've had a lot of masses this week. I don't know if I said this before here, but the Jewish people, even today, still have dances and songs commemorating the rededication of the temple. It is a great moment in their history. It's a great moment in part because they mostly have a history of abandoning the Lord, going into other gods and falling into demise and collapse. The time of the Maccabees is glorious in their memory because they are faithful. It's one of the times that they really are faithful. And it's not because it was a military victory, because in the end, the Maccabees was not successful. But there was a moment here when they rededicated the temple. So they're rededicating the temple. What is a temple? What is the significance of the temple? The temple is where the Lord dwells among his people on earth. And it is the place where the people come and they bring their needs and their prayers and their praise. They bring everything before the Lord in sacrifices before the temple. And so this is the place where God and his people meet. It is an expression of divine love that he makes himself accessible to his people in the temple. It is an expression of love for God that the people design and build a temple. You're designing and building a house. That's a lot of work, right? I've spent most of the last 10 years building and renovating churches. It takes a lot of work. But when you rededicate or dedicate a church, it's so joyful. It's like one of the highest moments of my life. Probably, maybe the high point of my life is dedication of a new church a few years ago. Even, we were talking earlier, even when you get a new chalice, or we're getting ready for new angels in one of our churches. Even small improvements, there's a lot of joy with that, right? Because you feel like the house of God is being glorified, and it reflects his glory to us and reflects our devotion to him. It's made manifest and visible. And as Catholics, we are all about the sacramental, the physical manifesting and revealing the spiritual. So this is... So that's the Maccabees, and then Jesus, of course, cleansing of the temple during Holy Week before he goes to his death on Good Friday. You all are engaged in the rededication and repair of a temple. It's a high privilege to participate in the reestablishment of the Lord's temple. Every Catholic church is a temple of the Lord. And in other languages, they say, we say we go to church on Sunday, in Spanish they often will say, I'm going to temple. The Jews, when they go to synagogue, they say, I'm going to temple. Right? So they call their churches temples, especially a great, beautiful church like this. The Spanish, whenever they come, they'll say, "Oh, vamos al templo." We're going to go to the temple. All right, and So there's a temple because the Lord's presence is here. So you are rededicating and reestablishing a temple of the Lord. And whenever this is complete, if it's ever complete, because these things are never complete, but there will be a day of joy, maybe 8 days of joy, right? And the celebration there. But I think this is also auspicious because, as I understand, I'm just beginning to read about Sister Ephraim and what the messages that she received. But the indwelling of the Trinity, the indwelling of God in each one of us, is an image of a temple, right? The temple is where the Lord dwells, and he wants to dwell in us. So each one of us, of course, is like another temple, or we are another temple, or we ought to be another temple. In order for us to really live as a temple, what do we have to do? We have to clean house. We have to go through a lot of renovation ourselves, a lot of preparation that the Lord would more perfectly dwell in us. This is the Lord's great desire. So all these things kind of just fit together beautifully today in these readings and in this place and in the messages that the Lord gave to Sister Ephraim. Let us ask the Lord that he do the good work in us that he wishes to do, that he purify us, that he prepare us to be his better vessels of his presence, and that all that we say and do may be a reflection of him, may come from him, and may lead back to him. Because in all things, the Lord wishes to be glorified. So let us ask that the Lord, as you all work on the rededication of this temple, let us not neglect, but cherish and savor the ongoing rededication and restoration of each one of us as the temple of God. Amen.